Okay, well, here we are. It's Final Fantasy VII. I honestly meant to check what part I'm on, and I don't remember, and I'm not really that worried about it. Because we're not really going to try to move forward too much right now. We've got a little bit of an issue that I have encountered. Well, not really encountered, but I have kind of come to the conclusion on, which is that, for whatever reason, I am severely underleveled. And I'm not really sure if that's because, maybe I was just trying to be mindful of video length and not being wasn't being very mindful of, like, you know, my experience points and experience gain and stuff. But I mean, really, seriously, I kind of looked over the previous episode and I was genuinely appalled by, like, how much trouble I was having with enemies I really would not normally expect to have that much trouble with. So as it stands, it would seem, I guess, maybe smart, at the very least, to try and rectify this as best as possible, or at the very least, catch up with where I should be, in terms of level, in terms of, like, HP and MP. Like, everything's really kind of just iffy in that regard, and I need to get that fixed. And also, too, this is a perfect excuse to, you know, just kind of reflect on everything, because I played through all of Midgar, the whole Midgar section, which, you know, honestly, I know a lot of people have very fond memories of it, and a lot of people, when they talk about Final Fantasy VII, they usually bring up Midgar for good reason. I mean, it's a really cool locale. It's a really cool setting for a JRPG. You know, at the time this game was released, it was a very unique setting. There really wasn't anything quite like it. And, you know, it was fun. Again, though, I think really it boils down to my favorite parts of it. Really, it's mostly just Wall Market. I just love the feel of that town. I love the feel of that area. I think it's just got a really neat, I don't know, really neat vibe to it. At the rest of the game, I don't know if the rest of the game ever really lives up to that, to be honest. That's kind of my only problem with Midgar. Like, Midgar itself, it's such a iconic location in this game. And, like, that wouldn't be so problematic, but the problem is that everything that comes after it for a good long while just doesn't really quite stack up to it. Which I guess is why the remake is going with the multi-part system, or setup, and more importantly, why, it's why I think, oh nice, we'll talk about that in a second. Actually, we'll use it on him. But I think that's also why they probably did kind of do the multi-part thing, not just as a business decision, but from a creative position. You know, Midgar, I can see kind of in my own brain, in my own thoughts, I can kind of see how they could expand upon it, in some ways. How it could be bigger and more fleshed out. Excuse me. And I think that would be really cool to see that in action. You know, what that's going to entail, I don't know. But, I mean, you know, Square Enix is being very, very keen on describing the first part of Final Fantasy VII Remake as a full standalone game. It's a standalone experience, they say, in their official materials. And so, I'm not that cynical. I mean, I imagine they will probably get that down pretty well, and I think people will really like it. I'm just really curious as to how much bigger it could really be. That's my thing. I don't know. I guess we'll see. Trying to think, because this is like, I mean, really, I am trying to kill dead air at this point, because I'm not gonna lie, this is strictly not even trying to hide it. Like, I am literally just level grinding at this point for a little bit. Wow, I did not mean to do that, but that worked out beautifully. I don't know, E3's over. I mean, I guess that ended yesterday. Officially. Or was that today? I think, well, I think it officially ended yesterday, but I think developers and stuff, I think they were officially like leaving and getting all the shit out today. I don't know if anybody's watching this. If you got any games you're looking forward to, let me know which ones they are. You know, but I guarantee you it's gonna basically be FF7 remake, Cyberpunk 2077. What else? What else? They showed other things. Oh, that Avengers game. That's a thing. I keep forgetting that's a thing. I'm not really interested in that yet. I don't know. Could be cool though. Could be cool. But I'm leery about it. It's just, that game kind of was announced several years ago and kind of did nothing for a while, and then you know, now it's here and it's I don't know. We'll see. I'm trying to think of what else. Panzer Dragoon's getting a remake? That seemed cool, I guess. If you're into that, I'm not. To be honest, I've never played a Panzer Dragoon game, and I have no doubt they're probably fun, but I don't know. They had it on the Nintendo Direct, and it only looked kind of meh. I'm trying to think of what else. I feel like I'm forgetting something. Oh, Phantasy Star Online 2 is coming to the West. That's pretty cool. I might end up checking that out, actually. Though I don't have much experience with Phantasy Star Online, period. But I've only ever heard good things about the original. That, you know, that was on Dreamcast, and I think it was later ported to GameCube. And Xbox, I think, got it too. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure Xbox got it at one point. That looks pretty cool. It's really cool that's finally getting a release in the United States. Because I know there have been a lot of people who've been like begging Sega to get off their asses and finally get that thing localized. But you know, Sega's gonna Sega, I guess. That's just their whole thing. Oh, duh. I guess I could talk about that for a second. Let me talk about what I've done with Red 13 here. So I had that enemy skill materia attached to him, and I was specifically looking for those two-legged Ed 209 looking mechs. They have a move called Matra Magic, which is a non-elemental damage all enemies attack, which only uses 8 MP per use. And it happens to be like ridiculously OP, at least at this stage in the game. So I felt it necessary that we should get that because oh my god, like it solves a lot of problems I was just having. Which I guess is kind of cool though. Like that's kind of the thing with the enemy skill materia. It is explicitly in design and function. It essentially turns any one of your characters into a blue mage from previous Final Fantasy games. And all that really means is that enemies will attack you with special abilities. Not all of their abilities can be used this way, but if they attack you with specific special abilities, if you have a character with that materia equipped, you will gain that special ability. And so that's like super useful. Especially for like characters you don't necessarily care about having like a bunch of magic on. You can get a lot of really cool like elemental spells and really unique abilities from that. So it's definitely something something to get and something to try to get a hold of. It's worth it. To kind of take advantage of it early game. The earlier the better in any Final Fantasy game I've found. I learned that real quick with Final Fantasy IX actually, because I remember the first time I ever tried to play through that game, I got stuck on a particular boss where you're kind of limited in scope of terms of like what characters you have access to, and so it turned out, what I found out later was that I was supposed to use the blue mage character and get specific spells that I could use in that fight. And so now, when I play Final Fantasy games and I have a blue mage option of some sort, I take full advantage of that shit. Because there's nothing the developers love more than throwing you into battle situations where they limit what characters you have access to, thus creating a situation where either you best have a shit ton of items, or you best have somebody with some blue mage techniques or something, because you're not going to last long without them. So yeah, that's a hot tip from me, whilst level grinding like crazy. Like seriously, if you get enemy skill in this game, take advantage of it. You will not regret it. Also, this could be really good for Red 13. Hopefully we get his next limit going here at some point. Could really use it. Damn, he hits like a truck. Good. Oh, hell no. Hit him with that Matra magic. I don't even care. I know he's by himself, but fuck it. I want my talisman back. I'm not losing that. Asshole. Kind of impossible to replace that right now. We need to grind up some damn gil too. This is actually a really good time to do this. But I guess also too, I could just ask as far as like, and this may sound really sad, but I mean it's just the honest truth. But like, if anybody gets to this point in this playthrough, this would be a great time to start throwing some feedback at me, because I could always use it. Positive, negative, I don't care. Feedback is feedback, and it's useful in all its forms usually. Unless it's like something childish, like, fuck you, you're an idiot, I don't like you. Like, that's not helpful. But like, really, anything to let me know if something could be better or something could be different, I am more than willing to listen. Feedback is such a great thing. And also, right now, I can go ahead and say that Red 13 is a straight up, like, he's a straight up boss right now. I'm very happy about that. I wish I'd have had that before, but that's okay. I want to kind of try to get him. I'm not really even sure where I want to hit with my characters right this second. Like, where are we at? 15, 14. If we can get Cloud to 16, that'd be nice. That should offset things for a little while anyway. Oh, wrong thing. I'm telling you, this is ridiculous how much, like how effective that actually is. I mean, look at that. That's doing almost 200 damage per enemy. That's insane. And it only does 68 to Tifa by herself. I mean, that's crazy. There we go. Damn, he is hitting hard. Very good. Very good shit. I don't know though, but like any feedback, anything is nice. You know, let me know if I'm doing the right thing. Let me know if I'm doing poorly. I mean, I don't know. It's hard to gauge this stuff sometimes when you don't get any feedback. It makes it a little weird. Because I know that's something I've really tried to take to heart with this particular playthrough. It's like I'm aware that this is a JRPG and the limitations are obvious, but like, I mean, it can be fun, I think, to go through one of these, especially if people decide to watch it, if they don't really feel like playing a, you know, however many hour JRPG. And especially with Final Fantasy VII Remake coming in March of next year. I mean, you know, I get it, like, not everybody has time to sit down and play through this and get like a refresher course, so I mean, this is not a bad way to get about it. But yeah, where are we at now? We're getting there. We hurt any now? Nobody's hurting really. Hey, but at least you get to see a full run of the battle system for the most part. I mean, it is what it is. It's Final Fantasy, ladies and gents. It's what it's always been. Excuse me. I don't really know what's going on with these guys, by the way. These enemies, they are, I have gone back and forth on this a couple of times. I don't know if they're robots that are in the shape of motorcycles, specifically like big Harley Davidson rides, or if they're like Mad Max-esque wasteland survivors, even though this planet is clearly not a wasteland. I mean, we got a lot of greenery. We got a lot of rocky shit too and sediment, but we got green, we got water. Like, you know, there's ways to make this work. Oh my god, look at that. That's great. That's so great. God, I love Red 13. Even though hypothetically anybody could actually use that materia and use that enemy attack, but I give it to Red 13 because actually, here's a fun fact. There's a reason I do that with Red 13 specifically. Red 13, as far as his design, I feel like, and this is gonna sound weird, but this is honestly, this is a theory I have. So Red 13, he's a character in Final Fantasy VII. He's pretty cool. He's designed by Tetsuya Nomura. You know, you know, people like him. I don't know if he's like a fan favorite per se, but I know plenty of people who seem to like Red 13. But I have a theory. Red 13, as far as his design, I feel like was almost a first draft of Kimahri. And I know this is a little bit goofy because you can say, well, they're nothing alike. No, character-wise, they're not anything alike. But design-wise, it's not too far removed of a stretch. Like, because we have feral animal with an intelligent Red 13. And eventually, Tetsuya Nomura, you know, he gets more clout in the company, so he works on more games, obviously. My thing is this, though. Red 13 looks an awful lot like an early version of Kimahri to me. Like, except Kimahri is like the next logical step. It's like, okay, well, a four-legged beast doesn't really make a lot of sense logically within the game. Because frankly, he doesn't make a lot of sense in this game, to me. Like, considering of the tone and the general aesthetic, I'm not really understanding why I'm running around with what is essentially a super intelligent Scooby-Doo. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. But I feel like Kimahri was kind of like that next step of like, okay, well, let's try that again. and see what happens. And importantly, not only did they try it again, in my view, but they made Kimahri essentially a blue mage in Final Fantasy X. So that's why I kind of make Red 13 a blue mage of sorts in this game, because it fits to me. He would have intimate knowledge of the enemies out in the world, because he used to live out in the world before Shinra caught him, so I think that fits. I don't know why I'm explaining this, but I figure, what the hell, it's like, it's an interesting, there's a logic to everything I do, I guess is what I'm getting at, to a certain extent. I'm not just randomly doing stuff. Like, there are reasons for why I put certain things on certain characters. Admittedly, though, I'm really not digging the whole using Tifa as a healer. Like, I guess it doesn't really matter, but again, like, that's not, I don't really buy her as doing that. Doesn't, I mean, well, I don't know. I guess she'd be like a brawler medic. That, What we got here? Oh, dogs. This game is more fun than a barrel full of dogs. Where did I... You know, it's funny though, I used to think I liked this game the first time I played it, but I also kind of felt like it was, like, I don't remember a whole lot. I remember plenty, but not as much as I care to admit, especially the later parts of the game. I'm like really fuzzy on a lot of the details in that part of the game. But it's like, you know, I know this is like for many people apparently. This is like many people's favorite Final Fantasy, and I kind of get it. Like, the more I play of it now, I'm starting to understand kind of why that might be. Because again, like, so far we've gotten what? We've got 5, you know, main party members so far. And I know for a fact there's like 3 more to get. But I kind of understand why people would like this a lot. But this is not my favorite Final Fantasy. And actually, I will just say it. I have no shame in saying this. My favorite, I'm pretty sure my favorite Final Fantasy is 12. I don't even hesitate to say that 12 is most certainly my favorite of the bunch. Because I like 7 for what it is, and I'm enjoying this playthrough so far, but I wouldn't consider it my favorite. I really like 6, but I kind of need to go back and replay that, because I didn't necessarily play that under the best of circumstances. I played it on a Game Boy Advance Micro, which admittedly is not a bad way to go. It had a really great translation, it had some extra content, but like, I would much rather play that on a big screen and actually see what the fuck is going on screen. I've never played 5. I've played through 4, and I really did not like it as much as I thought it would. I thought 4 was actually kind of weak. It's basically just a really... It's a really on-the-nose Star Wars ripoff, almost from the get-go, and I'm not a big fan of that. Like, its narrative is real weak. I mean, like... I know a lot of people are like, oh, but it really pushed JRPGs forward, which I suppose it did in some ways, but like, even taken into the context of when that game was released, Final Fantasy IV's story just kind of blows. Like, it's really not that great, I think. It's really... Like, the most interesting thing that happens in the game literally happens about not even halfway through it. And the game never really recovers from that. It just does not recover ever. Trying to think. Never played 3, and I have very little interest in playing 3, if I'm being honest. I mean, I'm not a hard ass about like retro games. I'm fine with them, but 3, that's a no. Especially the DS remake. My brother told me horror stories about that game, and I'm not gonna bother. And then the first 2 Final Fantasies, I played around with them. I played around with some, like, remakes on PlayStation that were released way back when. But I don't remember liking them very much. This is okay. I like 7. Alright. 8, I honestly played... I think I did a max of, like, 2 hours in 8, and that was about the amount I could take of it. Like, I like the idea of 8. I love the setting of 8, and I would really like to revisit it at some point, give it another fair shot. But like, I remember the draw system being kind of stupid, and I don't know, I didn't like a lot of the way that game presented itself. Like, it felt like you had to sift through about 10 minutes worth of tutorial menus to really get a grasp on some of the finer details of the systems in that game. But then again, the game is getting a re-release. It's getting a remastered release sometime this year. So that would probably be a very good excuse for me to sit down and play through it finally, which I probably will. I'm assuming it's coming out near the end of the year, probably October or November would be my guess. Though then again, Square Enix probably might just throw it out in August. So we'll see. But I don't know. I would like to give that one a fair shot, but at the same time, I would not be surprised if I end up not liking it that much, for reasons already stated, like draw system, systems in general being kind of weirdly esoteric for no good reason. I really like 9. 9's up there for me too, but like, just like 12 is. But 9, my only problem with 9, besides the fact that the PlayStation 4 port, honest to God, just looks terrible. The pre-rendered backgrounds look awful in it. I'm honestly appalled that Square Enix even bothered to release it. And from what I understand, I think it looks that way on, well, natively on Steam anyways. I know there's mods to fix it now, but I know, like, if I were running Square Enix, I would have been embarrassed for that release, because the pre-rendered backgrounds look horrendous now. However, my other big issue with 9, even past the pre-rendered background stuff, my biggest problem with 9, honestly, is that it's just slow. That fucking game is slow. Like, getting into a random encounter and then going into the battle menus and watching the animations, it's just so fucking slow. And I get it, like, the game is like fully 3D and it's very, like, we're talking very detailed 3D models and stuff in that game. But like, I don't understand why even the newer releases are as slow as they are. They're slower than this. I mean, this game, by comparison, is fucking quick. So I don't know. I don't know what happened with that game. But it's got a lot of really good traits to it. I love the story. I really like the characters, for the most part. Like, you know, I like Freya and Vivi, obviously. I like Garnet. I think she's great. Zidane is, he's okay. He's not bad. Monkey Boy's okay. And then here's the problem with 9, though. I don't actually remember any of the other... Oh, Kina. There's Kina. I did forget about her. Him, it, they. I guess they. I'm not even sure what proper pronoun is supposed to be used on Kina. Game actually does a really good job of handling that. I'm not... It's been a while since I played it, though, so excuse me if I said the wrong thing there. But, yeah. And 10's okay. I like 10, too. No, I mean, I like 10, T-O-O, 10 as well. 10's pretty good. I enjoy playing 10. 10's a fun one to play. I do feel like I get a little constrained by it, though. It feels like it's a very linear experience. Like, it really funnels you in very specific directions for almost 2/3 of the entire game. But thankfully, the narrative's pretty good, and I love the characters in that game. 10's got probably the most... I'd honestly argue, like, 10's probably got the perfect cast of characters. There's really not one I don't like. They're all good. They all have their own, like, very distinct character arcs. They all do have importance to the plot. Like, there's no, like, hanger-ons. Even Riku in 10, who you could argue is literally that. She's just, like, that last-minute addition. Basically to sell body pillows, unfortunately, but I mean, let's be realistic. That's exactly what she's there for. But even she's actually really cool, and she's got her own little, like, narrative, you know, bubble that goes on with her. So 10's got probably the most well-balanced cast of the series, I think. Never played 11. I don't really do MMOs very often. Like I said, Fantasy Star Online 2. That might be my MMO to get into, but not Final Fantasy 11. That was not it. 12 again. I think that is my favorite. I just love. My God, I love every aspect of 12. I love the visual design of that game. I love Ivalice as a setting. I love every one of the. Well, I love all the characters. Some less than others, but the ones I do love in that game, I love. I downright adore them. Like, Bosch is awesome. Ash is such a cool, like, protagonist to have in a Final Fantasy game. Like, she's a genuinely interesting character. Balthier and Fran are just amazing, and their English VAs are just brilliant. Like, they are so good at what they do. I think am I missing somebody? I got Penelo and Vaughn. They're not too bad. There are worse things. There are worse characters than Penelo and Vaughn. They're really not that bad. Like, I think people who say Final Fantasy 12 sucks because of those two characters either have not played a lot of Final Fantasy 12 at all, or they're over-exaggerating to the point of just ridiculousness. Like, they're not that bad. Yeah, you know, I know the production history behind them, why they were added in to begin with, etc., so on and so forth, but, like, really, they're not that bad. Penelo, in fact, actually has a lot of cool shit going on with her. Plus, again, the visual design of that game is just unbelievable. I mean, you wouldn't really know it had as much production troubles as it did, because that game just is so good. Even on PlayStation 2, when it first released, it was good. I knew, like, I was just like, God damn, this game will look great in HD. And it does. And honestly, I would try to sit down and give a fair shake to 13, but I'm not going to. I don't have the time nor the patience to bother. Like, I don't like Lightning much. I don't think she's a good protagonist. What's his face? Troy Baker is just Troy Baker, and Snow, that's his name. Snow Vendors, what a name. Guess that must have left some kind of impression on me because I remember the fucking name. I don't know, 13 could have been really good, I think. And it's a shame. It's a real shame. That game could have been really good, but it is just not very fun to play. Like, it seems fun to play at first until you realize that there's just not a whole lot going on with it. Like, you're barely interacting with it. Even in the battles, you're barely interacting with it. Like, when the primary interaction is just switching your character's job class so that you can auto attack and stagger an enemy and not really have a whole lot of strategy to it. It's just like debuff, 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 hit, 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 debuff again, and then hit, hit, hit. I mean, 13 was, I don't care what anybody says, 13 was not a good game. It certainly was not great, but I would argue it wasn't even good. And I think people who think it was are giving it way too much credit. Like, way too much credit. I don't know. Maybe it'll find an. I think it's kind of found its audience though, and I think if you give it a few years, it'll probably. I think opinions will start to shift on it, but mine will not. I'm not a fan of that game. I wish I could be. I wish I was a little more open about it, but it's just not that great. It just really isn't. And I know I'm wasting those ethers, but I want to get Cloud to 17. I said 16, but 17 will be the cutoff, and then we'll go into Calm and we'll find a save point. I think there's one right at the entrance, in fact, or maybe in the inn. Come on, one more fight, one more battle, and we're good to go. We will literally be good to go. What's going on? There we go. Now watch, when I'm going to Calm, it'll be like I'll have to deal with 6 more fights somehow. Also, too, I'm not going to complain about this. All 3 of them have their limit breaks ready to go. And the beauty of that is that these are 3 of my characters that don't require me to sit there and have to use them. I can literally save them because they're pretty proficient with their magic now. I think that should just about do it. Oh my god, really? Well, one more won't kill me. I don't think. Shouldn't anyways. And this will be quick anyway. Yeah, this will be super quick. Let's go. Let's go, Red. I don't know. I know this video has been kind of rambling all over the place, but I mean, to be honest, I had to do this. I hate to say it, but I had to do it. And honestly, I could have just as easily not shown this off, I guess. But at the same time, I feel that kind of cheapens the experience, because that would be kind of not really true to what the experience of playing this game is, because this is part of it, honestly. You know, there's going to be level grinding. That's just how JRPGs are. I hate to say it, but that's how they are. So, actually though, here we go. This must be Calm. Everyone's waiting at the inn. Let's go, Cloud. No. Let's go, Cloud. Not yet. We're going to here real quick. Is this Materia? Item store. Not quite what I wanted, but that's okay. I think it's this one is the Materia store. Yeah. So I'm going to buy Earth, buy another Poison. I will definitely buy 2 of those. You may be wondering, why am I blowing all my money on this stuff? Because it's important. Okay. Mainly it's important because at the end of the day, this, again, is how we're going to get through this game well enough, is we're going to have to stay fairly well equipped, especially if we have another run-in issue like we did with, well, literally the last section of the Midgar stuff. I mean, that was brutal. That did not go the way I wanted it to, and I wish it had gone better. I do. Barrett and the others are waiting for me at the end. I wish it had gone better, but it didn't. It went real rough, and I would rather not repeat that. Let's see, what do they say? Mr. Cloud, your party is waiting for you on the second floor. I'm trying to think, is there not a save point? Maybe there isn't a save point here. That's okay. I guess I'm gonna cheat it a little bit. I guess I can leave the game running, and I will start recording as soon as I'm in the mood for it. Anyways, I will record and start the next part. I think this is a good stopping point, though. We did some level grinding. We talked a little bit about the game, I guess. Talked a little bit about Remake. Talked a little bit about my Final Fantasy preferences. You know, we'll have more time to do this. I'll have to kind of sort my thoughts a little better next time. In any case, again, like, subscribe, comment. You know, that'll honestly do me a favor, frankly, and I would appreciate it. Not so much the like and subscribe so much, but like, comments, questions, complaints, anything like that. I appreciate that, all of them, anytime I get them. So, you know, just let me know. Hopefully you've enjoyed this this upload in particular, and hopefully you've enjoyed the run so far. We still got plenty of game to go. A lot more of Final Fantasy VII on the horizon. In any case, we're gonna get to that when we get to it. In the meantime, just get ready for the next part, because the next part's a little bit of a doozy. Next part, I don't know how I'm gonna do that in one episode. I'm gonna try to do it in one episode, because my God, get ready for exposition, ladies and gents. It's a lot. They cram a shit ton into what's about to happen next, as far as exposition and explanation goes. So, just be ready for it. In any case, you know, thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Hope you have a great day or night or whatever time or wherever you are. I hope it's a great day for you. In any case, thank you again for watching, and I'll see you when I see you. Thank you.